Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the grand temples of human brilliance, our precious biohazard laboratories. Here we've locked away the world's most charming pathogens, each one a microscopic superstar just dying to go global. Don't worry, we've got this totally under control. State-of-the-art facilities, well-trained staff, and protocols galore. What could possibly go wrong? Let's pretend we don't know the answer. Imagine this cheery scenario. Inside one of these fortresses, we hold an absolute showstopper, a super pathogen that makes Ebola look like a runny nose. Incurable, highly infectious, airborne, lethal. No vaccine, no antidote, no "mommy, I have a boo-boo" fix. We're studying it, of course, purely for humanity's benefit, because nothing screams safety like dancing with death in a sealed box. It's all harmless, until one quaint little error cracks the box open. Sounds impossible, right? After all, we've learned so much from past oopsies. Remember Sverdlovsk 1979? A Soviet lab, a missing filter, and poof! Anthrax spores drifted into a nearby city, killing at least 60 people. Just a minor glitch in maintenance. Who knew that making sure filters work could be so complicated? But hey, at least we learned our lesson, right? Fast forward to 2007 at the Pirbright laboratory in the UK. Foot and mouth disease strolling off the property, infecting local livestock. Turns out the facility's drainage system was about as reliable as a leaky garden hose. If we can't keep cow viruses confined, I'm sure we'll nail it with our invisible genocide machines. No sweat. Then there's the Beijing SARS fiasco, 2004. After the original SARS outbreak, labs handled the virus to prevent another pandemic. Genius. Except a lab worker got infected on the job. Oopsie daisy, but no worries, that was forever ago, and we've learned since then. We promise this time, we mean it. Scout's honor. Now let's jump ahead to our hypothetical doomsday scenario. Picture a top-tier biosafety level 4 citadel. Inside, a nasty bug we're just studying. One day, a researcher's glove has a microscopic tear. Maybe they skipped their morning coffee and didn't notice. Our vaunted containment systems, airlocks, chemical showers, HEPA filters are supposed to catch this. Obviously, these systems never fail except when they do. Maybe the disinfectant's too weak. Maybe a sensor's asleep at the wheel. Just tiny details, right? The researcher heads home. They swing by a crowded mall, do some shopping, cough once or twice, no big deal. Within days, a few unlucky folks present baffling symptoms. Doctors scratch their heads and say, "We've never seen this before." Authorities, oh so composed, assure the public, just a mild infection. Because denial is the best medicine. Soon we have clusters of the dying and hospitals cram full of patients who, how dare they, aren't responding to anything. That's when the panic sets in. Health agencies flail, travel restrictions appear overnight, airports close, cities locked down. Of course, these measures come just a tad late. The pathogen's already aboard transcontinental flights. Surprise! Meanwhile, we're all waiting for the geniuses who created, or at least curated, this monstrosity to swoop in with a cure. After all, they studied it, right? They must have a plan. Sure, and I'm the Queen of England. As the body count rises, investigators whisper, "This looks suspiciously engineered." Fingers point to the lab. The lab issues a press release. "We adhere to the highest standards." Perfect. That line always works. After all, Sverdlovsk and Pirbright and those SARS mishaps also claimed highest standards. Standards so high we keep tripping over them. Doctors scramble to develop a vaccine, a treatment, a prayer. The pathogen mutates faster than a politician dodges questions. Our beloved miracle workers are now working by candlelight. Because guess what? Supply chains are shot. Who knew that when everyone's sick or dead, it's hard to keep the lights on? But please, keep believing in those protocols. This all escalates quickly. Governments unleash martial law because when in doubt, aim a gun at the problem. People riot for medicine that doesn't exist. Supermarkets empty. Online conspiracies explode, blaming everyone from the Illuminati to alien overlords. The truth. All it took was one tiny slip in a lab that was totally prepared. We've tried to prevent this kind of ending, you know. After each lab accident, we added more paperwork, more safety drills, more ways to pretend we've conquered human fallibility. How adorable. We build labyrinthine precautions to contain invisible enemies while forgetting the simplest rule. Humans are unreliable, and microbes don't care about our confidence. Just consider how easily we shrugged off past warnings. Sverdlovsk's lethal anthrax leak, ancient history, Pirbright's livestock debacle, a minor hiccup, SARS lab infections, isolated incidents, we said. Each time we promised never again. Each time we believed complexity warrants security. Now we're stuck facing a tailor-made doomsday organism strolling through our world like it owns the place. As the crisis intensifies, the trust in science evaporates. Once heralded as saviors, scientists look like villains, or at best, clueless gamblers. Laboratories are attacked by mobs convinced that torching the place will somehow fix anything. Maybe they're right. Maybe we're better off with ashes than test tubes brimming with species-ending pathogens. On TV, if it still broadcasts, leaders babble about cooperation. That lasts about 5 minutes. Countries point fingers, hoard supplies, and close borders. International unity melts faster than ice cream on a hot sidewalk. Everyone's panicking, but hey, we're doing this for public safety, so safe that bodies pile up in refrigerated trucks because we're out of space underground. Can we cure it? Maybe, if we had infinite time, resources, and stable labs. Hilarious, right? Everything's in meltdown. Scientists huddle in dark corners with half-functional equipment. Data that might help is locked behind failing servers because we totally planned for a scenario where society crumbles in weeks. Brilliant foresight. We always assumed any real apocalypse would give us a heads up. But a lab accident, that's instant VIP access to hell. Nature takes millennia to evolve such a nightmare, and here we are, speeding things up. Good job, geniuses. By the way, rare doesn't mean never. It just means we got lucky until now. Luck ran out. In historical accidents, we survived by chance. Anthrax in Sverdlovsk didn't end the world. Foot and mouth didn't jump to humans. SARS lab leaks were contained. Lucky breaks. This time we engineered luck right out of the equation. The pathogen is made to spread efficiently, thanks science. We demanded answers from nature's deadliest secrets and decided we could handle them. Surprise, we can't. Within months, global infrastructure collapses. Goodbye electricity, water, internet. Who's maintaining these luxuries when half the staff is dead and the other half is too terrified to show up? Civilization, that delicate tower of cards, comes crashing down. Now we enjoy a front row seat to the Stone Age remake. Just think, all this from one teensy-weensy lab error. Survivors isolate in tiny enclaves. Trust is non-existent, a single cough, and you're tossed out to die alone. The miracle cures never materialize. If some lab rats find a vaccine, it's too late. Who's manufacturing millions of doses in a world where factories stopped humming ages ago? Historians, if any remain, will write snarky footnotes. They stored catastrophic pathogens in fancy labs and were shocked when one escaped. Imagine aliens visiting this husk of a planet, wondering what exterminated an entire species. They'd find our labs, marvel at our brilliance, and note the irony. We built temples to study death, then opened the gates because we blinked at the wrong time, and we were warned. Each historic accident was a flashing neon sign. Humans make mistakes. Did we listen? We slapped on more protocols and dared the universe to prove us wrong. The universe responded with a pathogen that makes every mistake lethal. If that's not poetic justice, what is? At this point, you might think this is all hypothetical and overblown. We'd never let that happen. Sure, keep telling yourself that. People said nuclear meltdowns could never happen, that oil spills would be contained, that chemical plants wouldn't leak lethal gas. Guess what? Chernobyl, Deepwater Horizon, Bhopal. We excel at oops. Now add invisibly small assassins to the mix. Feel better? We love chanting lessons learned, as if scribbling new regulations makes us perfect. But perfection's a myth, especially when operating complex systems run by flawed primates. Us. One rushed lab technician, one ignored alarm, and suddenly your big safety net snaps like cheap thread. If by some miracle a scattering of survivors endure, rebuilding from ashes, maybe they'll remember this tale. Maybe they'll say, let's not store doomsday pathogens in glass jars guarded by human error. What a revolutionary idea. Perhaps they'll practice actual caution, not this pretend invincibility. But knowing us, give it a few centuries and we'll try again. We're nothing if not stubborn. This is the ultimate irony. Labs built to protect humanity, studying pathogens so we can prevent pandemics, end up causing the mother of all pandemics. It's like hiring an arsonist to teach fire safety and acting shocked when the building burns down. Let's be super optimistic for a moment. Maybe someone stops this nightmare early. Maybe the alarm is raised in time, quarantine is swift, and the pathogen never spreads. Remember, we're dealing with people who thought a few guidelines and high-tech suits would forever block catastrophe. What if those people are wrong? History suggests they often are. But hey, don't let that spoil your faith in human infallibility. So here we are. The world's dying, and it's all because we couldn't resist unlocking nature's nastiest secrets. We took one misstep, just one, and everything went to hell. A cautionary tale? Sure, if anyone's left to hear it, but as we end this heartwarming scenario, think about it. Maybe this is just exaggerated. Maybe we're too careful for it to happen. Yes, keep telling yourself that, because if there's one thing humans excel at beyond discovering new ways to annihilate themselves, it's self-deception. Sleep well, my dear optimists. The labs are locked, the suits sealed, the protocols followed. What could possibly go wrong? I'm sure we'll be fine, until we're not.